Hey guys, Zephyr here, and I'm back with part 2 of the Megpoid video. This video is going to be focusing on the changes and improvements I would personally make if I was in charge of making, Megpoid the Music Sharp 2, or just any new Gumi game. So, let's get right into it. The first thing I would change is the UI. The UI in the first game, it's very dated because it was only in Japanese, and for accessibility reasons you're gonna have much more than just Japanese people playing the game. So I would like to implement a way that kind of like Pokemon at the start of the Pokemon games, where you can choose the language that you want to play in. So just off the bat I'm thinking English, Japanese, Spanish, and maybe French support, also Chinese and Korean, just because other than French, those are like the 5 languages that Vocaloid is in anyway, so I thought that would be like a good base to start from. And this will also include the PV subtitles, because with the language that you choose, I think it would be nice to have the PV subtitles in the language that you would like, but you can also change this in like a settings option, so you're not locked in just in case you want to see the original subtitles or a different language subtitle. And then for quality of life and general features I would have. So the main thing I think would be cool is to have a live 2D or 3D Gumi model that acts as like your personal assistant in the game, and they talk to you using Megpoid Talk. You can dress up this personal assistant Gumi. You can have preset phrase conversations, like if they say hello, you can choose hi and stuff like that. And even birthday wishes on your birthday, and maybe something special for Gumi's own birthday. And for the Megpoid Talk, I think it would be nice to have like maybe an updated version of it, because the original Megpoid Talk is very dated itself. It's like years and years old, and I just think it would be nice to have some type of updated text-to-speech for Gumi. And then for another feature, it'll be timing fixes from the first game's note chart. So, kind of like early Project Diva, Megpoid the Music Sharp had a lot of songs where the note chart didn't really line up with like the beats and stuff as well as it could. It was still pretty on par, especially when you got into the higher difficulties. But in general, sometimes that one or two things that just felt off, and it would just throw your whole game off, or maybe it was just me. But I just feel like some timing adjustments and things would be nice to have for the quality of life and general features. And then lastly, just for now, because I'm still thinking about this is probably going to be updated, probably not on a channel, but just updated in general. But the last thing I would want to mention is the unlockables. So you would have unlockables from costumes to songs to maybe in-game items, I'm trying to think of what could be something that you could have in-game item wise. I guess a different UI template or something like that. I think they did that in Project Diva F or F second, something like really just basic like that. But the biggest thing you're gonna have is the unlockable songs and the unlockable costumes, which you would only get if you get maybe a certain percentage on a song. Like maybe you have to get 80 and up to get this module costume, or maybe 90 and up for like a super rare module costume. So it'll kind of feel like a controlled gacha, if that makes sense. And then moving on, we have marketing. So I think marketing would be like the easiest thing to do, because it's Gumi. A lot of people already know her, and even with Vocaloid stuff, Internet Co doesn't really actively push the marketing aspect. People just kind of get Gumi. Like they're gonna get Gumi because it's Gumi. So one big thing I would have is popular people on social media who play rhythm games play the game. Maybe they can get like a free copy or a free extended demo or something like that. So that would be people like Hisoki and Just One Gamer, who does the 60-minute playthrough of games, and just people like that, people who play rhythm games or just in that community, because I don't want to just send it if I were to make it, because this is all hypothetical. What if I did it? But if I were to do it, I would have it so I would send these free copies or free demos to people who actually play rhythm games, because we want to keep it in the community. So with that, I'm also moving on to my next part about a 4-song demo. So I know some games have like a 3-song demo, some games have a 5-song demo, but I think 4 will be enough for what I'm trying to do, because you don't want to overload people and give them too much of the set list, because this is going to be a pretty big set list, and you're just going to get a taste. Maybe you'll get like one popular song, one kind of medium fun song, maybe a party song, and then sort of like a slower track. And with this 4-song demo, I would like to keep it all the Japanese songs, because I do plan on having more than one language songs for Gumi. But for this, I just wanted to give you just a little bit of taste, just a little taste. And with the 4 songs, like I said, you're going to be able to play them in easy, normal, and hard difficulty. Expert, which is like extreme in Project Diva, that will only be available for the full game. And then another marketing thing you can do is a possible Japanese fashion brand collab with in-game modules. So think like Lightning from Final Fantasy with the, I don't even know what she modeled for them. Maybe it was Gucci, I don't know. But a better example would be like the Utao Gahata Meiji. You know, she had the fashion brand or whatever modeling that she was actually made for that company, I guess, as like a brand mascot or a model for their clothing. So like you'll see the concept art and official art of her just in those types of outfits and everything. And going back real quick to the playable demo, you could also have this demo set up like Project Diva, where you can play it at like a GameStop or something, or even at an anime convention in the gaming room, because you know there's a lot of gaming and anime conventions, you know, year round in the US, but I'm pretty sure in the world as well. But it would probably be a lot more easier to control if it was just in the US. And again, this is like a very bare bones demo, so you won't even be able to have a lot to work with. And then the last thing, which is kind of like a dream marketing goal, so I don't expect it to be real if this was actually like a real thing that happened, but a great way to promote the set list and everything is to have a Japan and US and maybe Europe too, if it was, because like, again, we're shooting for the stars here. So I guess if we're shooting for the stars, we can go ahead and say Japan, US, and Europe concert tour. For not first place, Internet Co. has had a Gumi concert. I think the last one that they've ever had officially from them was like in 2013, and that had not just Gumi but also Gakupo, Lily, and Cole, if I'm not mistaken. Not only has the roster increased since then, but also the quality of their voice banks, because I think that was V3 was out during then, so we're now in like the V4, V5 era, just because some of the Vocaloids are on V4, and I don't think any first place Vocaloid is on V5 yet. But with that, you have updated voice banks, you can have updated like concert modules and the little projections that you'll see. You can have it set up. It doesn't really have to be big venues, because I'm just thinking like cost efficiency. So again, like here in DC, you had Miku Expo at the Anthem. The Anthem is a nice space. It's not too super big or super small, so just like small venues like that. Like you're not gonna have Gumi in a Staples Center or anything like that. So as for marketing, that's pretty much my thoughts on marketing. If you guys have any more suggestions, I would love to hear them in the comments below. You know, I'm just going off of the few notes that I have and adding things off the top of my head as I go. So for my last point, I have accessibility. So this will be the systems that this game, this hypothetical game, would be on. So the very first thing I want to put is Nintendo Switch, because Project Diva is going to be on Nintendo Switch. I think this game, if it ever happened, should also be on Nintendo Switch. But the very next system it should be on is PS4 or PS5, whatever current gen PlayStation system is out at that point. I guess I should also say Nintendo Switch Pro, because that might be a thing coming this year or next year or in the coming years. Current gen Nintendo console and PlayStation console, it should be on those definitely, because Gumi started off on the PlayStation Portable, so of course it should stay on the PlayStation, but it should also, you know, other people should be able to play it if they don't have it. So that's why I'm also including the Nintendo Switch option. And then the very next console it should be on is the Xbox One. I don't know, like again, it'll be current gen Xbox, whatever system that might be. I'm just going off of what's out currently. So even on my notes I have, or whatever current gen consoles. So this gives people who don't have a Nintendo Switch or don't have a PlayStation 4 but still like rhythm games and would like to play something Vocaloid related, they have the option to do so now. And this also makes, you might have to change the note charts a little bit, just the reflective buttons. But even with the Project Diva Mega Mix demo, you have the option of choosing, hey, do you want to see the triangle, square, circle, X buttons on your screen, or do you want to see the B, A, whatever Nintendo buttons are? You have the option to see those. And then the last platform I would like to see this game on would be PC and Steam, specifically on the Steam store. I think that would be a really good way to have, maybe if you have an early access, you can have it there where people are able to test it out and everything and see what the bugs are. But it would be a closed early access. I want to make that clear. A very closed early access. So you would have to have like a key. You cannot generate a new key. You would only get like a bare bones minimum just to see what the feedback is, because I think it's really important to get like community feedback with games. This will not be feedback in terms of like, oh, add this song because it's my favorite Gumi song, or add this costume because it's my favorite Gumi costume. It'll literally be about the gameplay. So like, hey, it would be useful to have this in the options. This would be useful to have this as a part of the UI. Yeah, I think it'd be good to have a PC Steam release, just because you're getting like the core 4, which is always like Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, or Microsoft, I should say, and then also PC. I don't think there would be any other game systems worth talking about, or just platforms worth talking about to put this game on, because at that point, everyone kind of has Steam, Nintendo, PS4, or PlayStation, I should say, and Microsoft. So I think that ends it about the changes and improvements I would make, and then the next part will be about the song list. So for the song list and length, before I get into the actual list itself, the notes I have about the song list and length would be, you would have full-length songs. So this would be reminiscent to EOS/VT Colorful, where all the EOS songs were full length. So even the very long 8-minute trance song, you had to play that, but you wouldn't have anything over 5 minutes. I specifically made a note for that. Nothing over 5 minutes, because sometimes it gets very tiring, especially when you're playing on higher difficulties and you have to keep up with all the note charts and you don't want to drop your combo. So nothing over 5 minutes, and that is not very hard because there's tons of Vocaloid songs that are 5 minutes and under. Other than that, you would have nothing repeated from Megpoid the Music 1. So this is just going off the assumption again that this would be a follow-up game. But again, it doesn't have to be a follow-up game. This is just a note. But nothing repeated from the first Gumi game, because I know personally when I'm playing Project Diva or something like that, I don't want to play previous song titles, just because if I'm paying for a new game, I don't want to pay for old songs. That's very boring. Nothing will be repeated from the first game, and that doesn't really take away much. Like, you don't have the Sanfree song, you don't have the Otetsu song, but there's still like tons of Gumi, tons and tons and tons of Gumi songs out there that are still fun. You have still classic titles, you have newer titles, which I really want to include more of the newer titles than the classic ones, but there'll still be tons of classic ones for those who just really need their Gumi fix. The final note about this hypothetical game before I get into the actual set list that I created is that this will be Gumi songs only. So there will be no duets, no choruses, and no other Internet Co. Vocaloids. My reasoning for that is just because even though, like Project Diva, it's Hatsune Miku Project Diva, this would be Megpoid the Music, but it'll just be too hard, I feel like, to have Gumi songs and then split that up between the Internet Co. Vocaloids. So for simplistic sake, I think it'll be easier to have just Gumi songs. Now this could change. I mean, again, this is a hypothetical game, so this could change. There will be other ways to implement it, and I actually have other ideas for how you could implement the other Internet Co. Vocaloids via a sister app, like an app on your phone, the App Store, Google Play, some type of app where you can play like a rhythm game, like a very simple version of the rhythm game that you can buy. And you can play like other Internet Code songs like Gakupo, maybe Dancing Samurai, Lily. You can have another Lily song, Gachapoi, and like Vocaloids like that. I guess console game version, you would only have Gumi. That's the best way to say it. You would only have Gumi. This is strictly a Gumi game. So now that is everything that I'll make changes and improvement wise. So the next part of this video will be the set list that I created. So I was debating how I would introduce this next segment just because I don't want to have to go through the very, very, very long list that I made. I mean, I guess it's not super, super long. I don't want to show like the video for every single song that I have. So I'm probably just going to be talking about these songs, and then every so often you'll see one of the songs I'm talking about, like maybe a video playing in the background for that song. So there are 60 songs in this list. I didn't want to make it too long. Actually, 62 songs in this list. Possible 5 DLC tracks that I have on this list as well. So let's get into it. The very first song on the list I have is going to be Again by Crusher P. Again is it's a newer song, newer Gumi song. It uses Gumi English, so that's going back to what I said earlier about I want this to not only be Japanese Gumi songs, but I want there to also be English Gumi songs, Spanish Gumi songs. Those are pretty much the only 3 languages I have included set-wise in this, just because I'm not familiar with that many songs outside of these 3 languages. But if you have other suggestions, again, this is a hypothetical. I want to keep stressing this. I'm not making a Gumi game. I'm not a part of a Gumi. I would love to be a part of a Gumi game because I just have so many ideas I would love to implement. But this is all hypothetical. This is all a what-if scenario. Even though Echo is arguably the more popular Gumi song, but I have a reason why I didn't want to include Echo, and that's specifically because it's already a part of another rhythm game, I believe. And for this, I'm trying to keep it current. I want both classic but also current. Again, it's still a very fun Crusher P song, and the reason why I included this one specifically was because there are 2 versions of this song. The one that Crusher P has the instrumental for that is uploaded on their channel, but there's also a version that they've done with her and the Living Tombstone did with another singer, which has the Living Tombstone. So I feel like there might be an unlockable that you can put in there where you can play both versions of the song, and I thought that would be really cool to have because I don't want to stay too long on any one song because it would be a super long video otherwise. But number 2, you have Mechanical Girl by Kuronosu P, I believe, which is a game done for a video game, I believe, or an app or something like that. It's a very fun song. It has great tuning, and it's just a really good addition to the list. And then you can't have a Gumi game without audio and Kira. So number 3 is Machine Gun by Kira. I just feel like this would be a really fun song to play as a note chart, just because of all the repeated patterns and everything. So it'll be both challenging and fun, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then This Feeling is a Cliche. I really want to include that song by audio as well. This is all like following the Gumi English thing, but also fun songs to play. You have genre representation here. And I chose this song specifically over Chinatown Blues because with Chinatown Blues you have Karma Wears White Ties. That's a part of that. That is a part of that track. So I don't know if there'd be like a legality reason to get them included in the game as well, or just to have their voices playing in the background and not even showing them. But I feel like this would be a safe, fun audio song to include. And then Gears of Love by Giga P. A very classic Gumi song in my opinion. It's really fun. More along the lines of a party song, I believe. I think that's the song I'm thinking of, Gears of Love. Giga P, you can't not have a rhythm game without a Giga P song. And then 3 common Gumi users you have to include: Last Note, Kimu Vox, and Hachi. So with Last Note you have Root Sphere, and I'm trying not to include many song series songs in this, if that makes sense, because I don't want it to be like EL/VT Colorful where like half of the set list was like Gen songs. Dear Doppelganger by Kimu Vox, I feel it's just one of those that like that song single-handedly revived like the Vocaloid fandom. The Vocaloid fandom was never dead. I don't know why people keep saying that, but it revived it in a sense of, wow, this really fun producer that we all love who makes like these classic songs has just re-uploaded. This is a banger. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone wanted to make covers of it, so it just happened. For my Hachi pick, I picked Donut Hole. I just feel like that's a really good classic Gumi song that's been old enough to be a classic at this point. And you're gonna hear me, probably gonna be tired of hearing me say, oh, that's classic, that's super classic. Well, it is. It's super popular. It's had so many covers, and it's by one of the most well-known Vocaloid producers in this community, period. In general, we have a really good PV for it. You can either use the original video or make a module video for it. So moving on from Donut Hole, we have Tokyo Funka by Takamat, which is one of the best Gumi songs, I would say, in my opinion. It kind of has like an Inca vibe to it, but like a modern Inca, I don't want to say pop, but kind of, I guess that's the word, because I can't think of the genre I'm thinking of, so pop vibe with it as well. This next track was actually the song I wanted to use for the tutorial song for this game. Like much how, I don't know how you even pronounce it, Levin Polka or I even Polka, however it is the tutorial song for Project Diva. Possibility by Ozashin could be the, I think that was a V4 demo track as well. It could be the tutorial song for this, or just a playable track in general, because I think in later games you can unlock Levin Polka as a playable song, but I don't think you get a score on it. I think you can just play it. But moving on from that, you have Sasha, like Boku no Sasha, that's by Yuzi Hiko. I think that would be a really fun song to include. It could have a really fun PV, whether or not you use the original video or, using the in-game module with like some weird, I don't know, just some weird models that you can use to have for an original PV or just using the actual video's PV. And then Coma by Enso would be my next choice. It's one of the most popular Gumi English songs, I believe, and from a really popular Gumi producer. I think that would be a really fun pick. Moving on, we have My Crush Was a Monster Boy by Shokubai Phantom Girl, which is arguably one of the most popular Gumi songs, period. So I'm going to go ahead and use It's a Classic, that gold line again, because it is. It's very much a classic Gumi song. It is definitely falling into the category that Gumi songs about love are always really weird. And then you have the Real Disappearance of Hatsune Miku by Cosmo Buso P. And this is definitely one of the most fun songs that he's created. This can also add to the more difficult tracks that people can have note chart wise. And then Complete Mystery by, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, Ame Nomura Kumo P, who is a newer Gumi producer, I believe. I think this song just got subbed as well. This song, it's very fun to play. It's one of those tracks that I added because I wanted a newer song, but I also don't just want to include, oh, this is new, so I want to include this. This is old, so I want to include this. I also wanted to make it fun because for every song on this set list, I wanted to make it that they would be fun to play if you ever made a note chart for them. The next song, because this is also a very, very popular Gumi user who made Tin Faced. This is YM. I would include Dance and Dance. Dance and Dance is one of the most popular newer Gumi songs that he has made in his time as a producer. It has a really fun animation. It will be really fun to play as well, just because it alternates between difficult sounds that I think that can be translated into a note chart, along with more easier ones that you can have for a less difficulty on the game. And then Shinjuku Sick by Task. Now this song, I think, I'm just thinking back to legality reasons, might be difficult to implement because it also has Hatsune Miku in the background for harmonies. So either they would have to redo the song, which isn't unheard of with these songs, them redoing stuff or updating it. Like you have those like medleys that were in Project Diva X. So it's not unheard of that they can redo songs to update them or whatever. The next cover, the next song I would include is R16-bit In's Trigger, which is a answer song or a follow-up song to our 16-bit Wars by Sasakure.uk. I specifically wanted this song on this set list because it is newer than our 16-bit Wars, it's by the same producer, and it just has a more polished feel to it. Next, and I would include this one just because of personal reasons. I liked Gifted by Athena Z. Every time they upload, like, they get better, if you know what I mean. Like, every time they upload, it's like, oh wow, they've improved. They've improved this time, they've improved that time. And it can be updated or remastered. That is the word. I know language. It can be remastered for the game. The next song I would choose is Kokoro Nashi by Papillon, which is a very ballady type song, because even with all the party songs that I think I've included so far, you definitely want to have more of the slower songs to include in this as well. Then you have Busy Signal by Strovi. I believe this is a Gumi English song, because I would definitely want to include a lot of the popular English Gumi songs in this game. Makito P, I love Makito P, and I think Ballerina Girl would be a really awesome addition to this set list. And then you have Fragile by Nulut, however you say their name, I'm sorry. I think it's just a really solid choice for this song set list. This next song is by Yuri Cannon. I think damn, I can't even read, because I put the Japanese name. I didn't mean to put the Japanese name. I meant to put the Romaji name. Acceptance by Luna. Everyone knows who Luna is. Luna uses a bunch of, like, just a variety of Vocaloids. They always collaborate with Bibi in terms of, like, the really awesome tuning on their songs. And then going back to the classic choices, I would include The Muzzle of Nemesis by Mothi P. You definitely want to include one of those Evilness Chronicle songs in this, because, you know, it was not included in the first game, so that's the main reason why I chose it. I definitely looked, because I was really afraid that this was already picked for the first game. Not only that, it's just a really fun song to play. It ties back into having one song from a series, but it's not overloaded with songs from a series as well. Then you also have Poker Face by Yucha P. I don't think I have to say much about this song, because it's not the Lady Gaga one. Poker Face has been MMD modeled, covered to death. It's just a really popular, fun song to play. Then you have Copycat by Voca Circus. I chose this song just because it's like a really solid choice. In terms of the note chart I'm thinking of, it'll probably be a lot more focused on the instrumental than the vocals. You have Tu Tic Tac by Malbox, which is a Spanish Gumi song. I really wanted to, again, include diversity in terms of, like, language, but also fun songs to play. Needless by Umidori-san. I don't really remember much about this off the top of my head, other than it being a really fun Gumi English song, I believe. Then you have Leave by Akagame. This next song after that one, The World Beyond My Glasses, was a Captain Medai. So that could be a really fun song to update if Gumi had a updated English voice bank. And then you have Find My Way by Ajasan. You have Our Once Blue Sky by Verse Sequence. You have Cynosure by Meted Power. Meted Power is a really awesome Gumi English producer, just Vocaloid producer in general. You have Sentimental Love Heart by Natsumi Chiaki. This next song, I had to include that if I ever made a set list for this game, and that's Rumor by Police Piccadilly. This song is a Japanese song that uses Gumi English's voice bank. So in my opinion, it just kind of makes it all come full circle, and it's just a really fun song in general because Gumi's English voice bank accent just adds some pizzazz to the song. Sweet Float Apartments by Mambo P is another classic Gumi song. You have Wonderful Nippon by Kagome P and Takamat. I tried not to have any repeating producers, so this is more of a pick because of Kagome P than it is because of Takamat, who's already included with Tokyo Funka. And then you have Fly Away by Techniken. You have Starburst by Marvin Valentin. Over the Time Dance by Easy Pop, because I really wanted an Easy Pop song, but of course you can't include Happy Synthesizer. It's already a project Manai song, and Easy Pop has other Vocaloid songs as well. Birthday Card by VNANP. I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I think that's an also really fun Gumi song as well. You have Gravity by Auditor, Wrinkle by Buzz G. Buzz G, I believe, also made Albino, which is a really popular Miku song, so I thought that would be a really fun song to include. You can't have a Vocaloid rhythm game without a 40MP song, so the choice I chose for that was Heartbreak Headlines. You have Sweet Shackles by Maya, The Faulty Feline Philosophy by Fairy, who is a really popular, newer Vocaloid producer. You have Jack the Ripper by Cephalid. I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name either, but I really like that song as well. I think it would be fun to see like a heavy rock or metal type song in a Vocaloid game. Then you have The Magic of Massacre by Utsup, which is again going back to that. Replica Formula Puppet Syndrome by Stella. You have We Need a Selly P song, and She is a really popular Selly P song for Gumi. Well, actually, no, it's not really popular. It's kind of underrated. So you guys should go ahead and listen to that after this. You have Aida by Nbuna. Okay, but My Anxiety though, but by Addy S, who is one of my favorite English Vocaloid producers. Live April by Konata P. The Hedonist Happy Buffet by Taku.k. And then Asthma by Rioni, which is this is more of a pick because of how popular the song is, but it's also a very good song, so I definitely wanted to include it in this set list, but I definitely chose it because popularity means it's more well known. And then Sunset Love Suicide by Machi Gerita P, who is the Halloween Vocaloid producer. They upload every Halloween. They've made tons of songs that we all know and love, all of our creepy favorites. You have Clean Freak by Scop. Another song that I forgot to include the Romaji name of, but this one is by Auk. This will probably be the one that I show off in the video, along with the other song that I included the Japanese name of by accident. And then my last two choices were Roleplay by McCatherine and The Disappearing Act by Nom Nom Bluey. And then that's the end of my choices for the main set list. The last 5 songs on this list were possible DLC songs, and I say DLC specifically because they include other Vocaloids that aren't just Internet Co. or aren't just Gumi. So if they were to be included, then I would feel you would have to pay for them, so that way if you have any type of legality reasons, then the other companies get paid from it as well. So that includes Poster Girls Prank by Utsup, which includes Miku and Ren, Indulging Idol Syndrome by Suzumu, which includes Mayu as well, The Fox's Wedding by Masa, the updated version, which also includes Miku, the Easy FG song, which I believe also includes Gakupo if I'm not mistaken, and then Straying Rhapsody, which is by Hito, Shizuku, and Yama. So if you really like this video, go ahead and leave it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you like this content, because I plan on bringing you more of it. Make sure you comment, and share if you really like it. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.